G'day guys, this is Ben and Kelly, owners of Estes Park Guided Tours. We are a photographic tour company based up here in Estes Park, Colorado. We do personalized photography tours throughout Rocky Mountain National Park.
We're pleased to team up with Tom's of Maine for the hashtag Nature Nurture program, a program created to help small businesses like ours during COVID-19 in order to bring nature to your home.
Today we're actually going to be going for a small hike up into Roosevelt National Forest. It's about 3 to 4 miles, just the outskirts of Estes Park. So we hope you guys come along with us and enjoy. Alright guys, so we're starting to make our way up the trail now. The name of this particular trail is called Pole Hill Road. And this was actually the first highway, I guess you could say, into Estes Park. So back in the early 1900s, the Highway 36, which is the main thoroughfare from down on the Front Range up to Estes Park, did not exist. So, with that said, if you think back to the early 1900s, people got around in horse and wagon. Could you imagine coming down a trail like this on a horse and wagon? Just take that in for a moment. Okay, so we are making our way up Pole Hill Road here. Now, 80% of this national forest that we're in today, guys, is made up of granite. So that's what you can see all around us here at the moment. I'm going to pan back around just for a moment here. You'll see Kelly and my son Cash coming up. As you look over in the background there, that is the Rocky Mountain National Park. So again, thinking back, imagine trying to get a horse and wagon up and down this. Alright guys, so we've actually finally made it up to the top of the first hill. I'm going to pan around here just for a moment. So what I wanted to bring to your attention was this little fire pit. Up here in the National Forest, you are perfectly able to set up a campsite. There's no permits required. So you'll find these little makeshift fire pits kind of scattered all throughout the forest. Alright guys, so progressed on a little more, and we were just touching on the fire pits a moment ago. So we've come across another ridge here. As you can see, a couple more fire pits people have set up, but I'm actually going to take you over towards the ledge here. Something really cool I wanted to show you guys. Could you imagine setting up a campsite and have this to look out when you wake up each morning? So we're actually facing northwards up towards Fort Collins, Loveland area. And as I said earlier, we are actually up trekking through Roosevelt National Forest. We're going to continue on because I've got some better views for you to see here. Alright guys, so bring to your attention now these pine trees that we're looking at around us here. These are called ponderosa pines. And as I make my way in, you can always identify a ponderosa. If you actually have a look at the needles here, you'll notice they're long and skinny. Now what's interesting, if you guys look at some of these ponderosas over in the background here, notice the color of the bark is like an orangey brown color. Now what I wanted to bring your attention to, if you look at this tree right here, this is a baby ponderosa, and again you can tell by identifying those long skinny needles. But what I want you to do is notice the color of the bark. So here's a baby, right next to it, same tree, you notice the orangey brown. Interesting little fact with these ponderosas, once the trees actually hit the age, somewhere between 70 is about the magic number. They say is when that bark color changes color, goes from the grey to the orangey brown. What gets even more interesting, if you were to put your nose up to this tree here, the mature ones with that orangey brown color, what you'll actually smell is this sweet butterscotch vanilla scent. So they do let off, it's amazing the scent they actually give off. If you put your nose up to one of these two here, again, the little babies, we touched on them having the grey colour, there'll be no scent whatsoever. So there's a little interesting fact about the ponderosa pines. Now we're going to head on up the trail a little more. We're totally clear of all the homes. So purely out now into the National Forest. See Kelly and Cash up ahead there. This is one of my favourite sections. What we're going to be walking through coming up here is all our aspen trees. And I'm going to take you to a special spot up here in the National Forest and actually give you an aspen talk. Alright, so we're actually coming into an aspen stand now. These are very small aspen trees, and these are the ones with the white bark. And again, these are baby aspens. Shortly, we're going to get to a spot where you'll see some mature aspens, and that's when I'll give you guys your aspen talk. So we're looking at an aspen tree, and you can see these markings. A lot of people confuse these for antler rubs from the elk and the deer. What you're actually looking at, guys, are the incision marks from the teeth of the elk and the moose will actually chew on them. What they've actually discovered is under the bark of an aspen tree is actually a natural pain reliever. It's medicinal use. So where you see all this scarring, if you look at this tree here, look at some of these bigger ones over here in the background. You'll notice the vertical lines going up and down. They're typically the teeth mark of the elk, deer, and the moose. As I said, they use them 2 times a year, is when they're predominantly used, and that's springtime, which we're in right now, and fall time. This time of year, in spring, it's usually the females chewing vigorously after calving. So for all you mums out there that are giving birth, you can understand that process.
Yes, ma'am.
So just imagine being or dropping a 40 to anywhere from 20 to 40 pound baby calf. This basically, guys, is the equivalent of an epidural for the animals. So that's what you're looking at, all this scarring. You'll notice the aspens are getting a lot taller coming up here. And we're going to stop in here and do an aspen talk. Alright guys, and this is the aspen stand. This is actually one of the largest ones actually up in Roosevelt National Forest. You can see as we were walking down earlier, they were kind of babies. As we get into this particular area, you can see the size difference. And these are mature aspens. So I'm going to take you down this way, give you some interesting little facts with these trees, and then we'll just leave the video on for a moment. I'll let you enjoy the silence of the wind rustling through the aspens. Alright guys, so welcome down into the aspen stand or grove. You can see they're actually amazing trees. They're just starting to blossom now and get the fresh growth coming out. If you guys look at these trees, I'm going to give you this one here in front as a key example. In fact, let's turn it here. If you guys look at these notches, you'll notice with aspens they're actually a self-pruning tree. So as you look up the trunks of these trees, they don't have any lower limbs. These were a very special tree for our Native Americans. In fact, Natives guys would actually consider these trees spiritual. They believed the trees were alive like you and I. And as we kind of look around, look where those branches used to be. If you notice, they look very similar to human eyes. So we come in here to where these branches are. You can kind of see the image where the branch was there. Looks like a human eyeball. Turn it around. So as you kind of gaze up through all these trees, look at all the eyes. Native Americans believed the trees would watch over and protect you. The nickname they gave aspens was Eyes of the Forest. Now you can actually see where that name came from. Another little interesting fact here with the aspens. I'm going to rub up on this white part of the bark. And I'll try and get in the sunlight. I'm not sure if you can see anything. In fact, let's pick a different tree. I'm going to find a nice white dry part of the bark. I'll try it on one of these trees up here. This one here hopefully will work. Yes, it does. So I'm rubbing quite vigorously here. Now if you look down at my hand, do you see that white powder? Here's a cool little practical use. If you're ever out here in the forest and you come across an aspen stand like we're in now, just with our high elevation up here in Colorado, if you ever forget your hat and sunscreen, look for an aspen tree. That white powder that we just rubbed off, if you actually apply that all over your face, arms, legs, limbs, anything that's exposed, it actually acts as a natural sunscreen. They say it's got an SPF rating of around a 10. So there's a cool little bit of information you guys can use if ever you find yourself out here without sunscreen or a hat. Now, there's another cool little thing I want to touch on with the aspens. I'm going to take you back up this way. We kind of spoke earlier in the previous example with all the markings at the bottom. All these scrapings here, again from the elk and deer chewing on the base. So we know it's a medicinal use. But this is another animal that actually uses this tree is actually the black bear. And I'm going to bring you up here because there is a tree. If I can find it. Here it is right here. So as I pan around, you can actually see the marks in the tree. In fact, that's a shame. That piece of bark there used to have bear claws. As I pan up, you'll see those lines, the higher up it goes. They're actually the claw marks of a black bear. And up here in Colorado, that's all we have. We used to have the grizzly, they were hunted out. But those marks you see were actually left from a black bear. Why the black bears choose these trees is actually a training tree for their cubs. So the reason they choose it, their main predator up here would be the mountain lion. And mountain lions climb like you and I. They require limbs and branches to jump between. They've got amazing back leg strength to jump and spring. But as you notice with an aspen, there's no branches for them to hang on to. Bears, on the other hand, have amazing upper body strength. And they just shimmy straight up those trees. So why these trees are important for the bears? They're actually a training tree for their cubs. Mother bear will actually send her cubs up these trunks, get them up there out of harm's way if a mountain lion comes through. So that's another use from these aspens. One last thing, guys, I wanted to point out about these aspens. These are actually one of our world's largest living organisms, meaning they're all connected and share the same root system. So I'm kind of panning around. So all these aspens that are surrounding us at the moment, these are one living organism. Pretty amazing when you think of that. So another term, guys, you'll hear for the aspen is the quaking tree. Because those little leaves shimmer and shake. I just love the golden glow of the sun reflecting off them. Alright, so we're making our way now. We're going to be doing a lookout I call walkabout. This will be a highlight, guys. We'll be looking over the town of Estes Park and right out towards Rocky Mountain National Park. Alright guys, so we made it up to walkabout, lookout, that I call it. And got little Cash strapped on the back of me here. He's starting to get a little restless. But we get quite a few elk, mule deer, the odd moose sighting. We get the black bears up this way. While we haven't really seen anything out here on the trail today, I'm I'm going to turn around and show you the views right behind me here, because they are absolutely amazing. What we're going to be looking at is the town of Estes Park and the Rocky Mountain National Park directly over in the background. And you will see Lake Estes center screen. So I'm going to flip around. Have a look at these views. It is a little windy, so I do apologize. One of the things being up in high elevation. We're probably up about 9,500 feet above sea level at the moment. So that is Lake Estes. Unfortunately, we got the sun coming right over those mountains. That is the town of Estes Park down there. And you can see the mountain range right up in the background here. Here's the Continental Divide. So I'll do another slow pan around. So guys, we're out of the National Forest now, and just to finish I thought I would take you for a walk down the main street of Estes Park. This is the Big Thompson River, runs right through the middle of Estes Park, and the river is a little upbeat at the moment with all the snow melting with spring. So I've left the river of Main Street. I'm just going to take you for a small walk. This place is called Knoll Willow, and I think you will enjoy this. We're going to get some pretty amazing looks back towards Rocky Mountain National Park. The national park is over behind these trees over in the back. We should get a pretty good look of downtown Estes Park as well from up here. Okay, so moving along, and we're getting our first look of Rocky Mountain National Park. This is the old wreck of Knoll Willow. And it's a great location up here. We'll go inside, have a look at the old wreck real quick. You can see it's just a structure left of his building. The town kept it in place, which is really good. Someone's even put some firewood ready if you wanted to start your own little fire. But have a look out this window, guys. This is what I brought you up here to see. full step. Just out here, that is the main street of Estes Park, directly below us. And all those snow-capped mountains in the background there. That mountain center screen is the tallest mountain in Rocky Mountain National Park. It's called Long's Peak. It's 14,259 feet above sea level. So we've moved up the road just a little bit. You can see a different variety of pine tree. These are our blue spruce trees. A lot of people use them for Christmas. We are right alongside Fall River at the moment. And here we have a great horned owl. This is actually one of 3 little owlets that were nesting here. I've actually been following them for the last week and a half. And yesterday they finally left the nest. This is the last one left. So again guys, I want to thank Tom's of Maine for partnering up with Estes Park Guided Tours to bring you this virtual tour. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Again, this has been with Estes Park Guided Tours, signing out.